वंशी विभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय नमः. Welcome to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is Uddhava Gita. If you remember, it has been a long time that we had last Uddhava Gita class before our summer recess and winter recess, before our winter recess. And we were studying the chapter 7 of the Uddhava Gita, where Lord was describing to Uddhava about the nature of the samsara. And he compared this samsara, the world, and our continued rebirth and death and rebirth, that samsara, to a tree having 3 trunks and 10 branches and many leaves, and the roots deep into the karma. Like that, he had many this thing, and the 3 main branches all made up of 3 trunks, made up of 3 gunas. So then, because before that, before this, in the 7th chapter itself, Lord said about the sadhu sangha, about the holy association, and how with the holy association people had attained bhakti, and gave the example of Prahlada and the gopis and all the people of the rishis. Mere by holy association they had attained bhakti. Uddhava after that says, but I am not convinced, still I have confusion. Then Sri Krishna tells to Uddhava in detail about the samsara, nature of this samsara, and how to cut asunder, get rid of the bondage of samsara. Then in the chapter 8, again, he continues the same thing. So the allegory of the tree, samsara, the tree, is found in the Gita also, as it is said, Urdhamula Madashakam, chapter 15. Urdhamula Madashakam Aswatha Prahuravyam Chandangsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavid. So, and he says ultimately how to cut the samsara. It's like a banyan tree. Banyan tree is very long lasting. It doesn't die. It lives for hundreds of years. And this samsara is like the banyan tree. How to cut that? How to eliminate this samsara that we are into it? So in the Gita, he said, "Asanga sastrena dridhena chitva." So you have to cut it with not the saw, but with the weapon called asanga shastra, non-attachment. Don't get attached to this samsara. And as Sri Ramakrishna said, be like a maid servant in a rich man's house, saying everything that my hari, my house, my property, but knowing fully that nothing is yours. Yours is in somewhere else in the village. Like that, you say as if it is all yours, but nothing here is yours. All is just you are here, the traveler, the visitor in this world, and all that you have to deal with are like foreigners, but uh, like people in the rich man's house. No, nothing really connected to you, and that will bring the detachment. You will not get attached to the thing that you are connected with and dwell with. So it says asanga sastrena dridhena chitva. That asanga is not temporarily and just floating will happen. You have to be very firm to cut that tree asunder with the weapon of detachment or non-attachment. So, and that asanga sastra is only that way you can cut this samsara. It's very difficult. Here in the Uddhava Gita, Sri Krishna told very detailed about this tree, how this tree consists of seeds, and how the seeds are with 2 kinds of birds are there in the seeds. One is vulture, one is the swan. And bringing the vulture, like the who lives in the village, who lives feeds on carrion, and swan feeds only the milk. By that way, Sri Krishna tried to explain 2 types of path in this life. One is called pravritti marga, and another is called nivritti marga. Pravritti Marga is when we are working as the householder for the family, for our job, for our duties, to gain something, to enjoy. Enjoy means in the English word, it is um, not really enjoy, experience is the thing. Bhoga is not only enjoy, it's a experience. Bhoga is also experience joy, experience suffering. Both come in bhoga. So that is the path of pravritti, where you aspire to achieve something, you gain something, and that is called pravritti marga. That is most of the people do the pravritti marga, and then many people do the nivritti marga, where nivritti marga is another path, path of the sannyasins, who are not keen to gain something in the world. So they are already to not to gain, but they are to give, renounce. One is acquiring, gaining, gathering. The path is called pravritti marga. Another path is nivritti marga, where you give up. You don't gather anything, you don't own anything. These two paths are there. So Pravritti Marga, the path of householder, will finally lead to Nivritti Marga. That has been our ancient system of life, lifespan, how it was divided. Brahmacharya, Garhastha, then Vanaprastha. Garhastha is the Pravritti Marga. Vanaprastha, then it comes the Nivritti starts, the how to cultivate Nivritti. Finally, we have to attain that moksha or mukti or freedom. Otherwise, everything is in bondage. We are created, this samsara bandhana is there. This tree ever binds us. This tree of samsara has to be cut asunder. So, pravritti marga will not lead us to the mukti. So, nivritti marga has to be attained. So, be like a swan, only taking the milk and giving up all uh, that is not desirable, that is not really beneficial for your soul. So that's why he compares those Pravritti Marga people, Nivritti Marga people to swan and Pravritti Marga people to vultures. Vultures says that they live in a village, as they say. Village is the sense-bound life. And that's how Sri Krishna said about to, the way he starts saying in detail about how to get rid of this samsara. Sadhu Sangha brings, as Sri Ramakrishna also said, what happens by the holy company? Holy company begets love for God and stimulation towards God. That is the result of holy company. You talk about God, you think about God, you hear about God. That happens in holy company, and you are led to the right place. Otherwise, we are all entangled in this samsara. Samsara has the power to entangle, power to attach, distract from the right goal. And this samsara is ultimately doesn't lead to mukti or doesn't lead to ananda also. Little happiness, pleasure is there, sense bound pleasure, that also. The Vishaya Bhoga, Etu Sangsparsaja Bhoga, Dukkha Yonaya Evate. All Sangsparsaja Bhoga, all pleasures that are born of contact of the senses with the sense objects. That's what we enjoy or experience in samsara. And as the Gita said, Ehi sangsparsaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. That all the sense bound pleasures are ultimately yield unhappiness, sorrow, suffering is the result. Why suffering? Because Adyantavanta Kaunteya. They have the beginning and they have the end. You get when the senses are in contact with the sense object, until then only there is pleasure. When contact is gone, then there is suffering, dukkha yonaya. So there is end and then you suffer. You want to eat something nice, and you eat till it is the taste is in contact with the taste buds, you have happiness. After that it goes and finishes, like that little girl was crying when her ice cream, that ice cream bar was the ice cream was becoming less and less in the bar, because she understood it will be end one after a few moments. After some time it will end, and she was wise enough to understand the end of the contact born pleasure and started crying. Then itself she could feel and see that contact born pleasure is not everlasting. We are not even like that little girl who was crying because the chocobar was getting smaller and smaller every time she licked and she put out and saw that. We are so much entangled in the world that we don't ever realize that it all will end. There is the end coming, old age coming, pain, suffering, and death, separation, all will be there. But we are so much entangled in this life that we think it is all going to be like that. The one mantra they say is to remember, "Aisa din nahi rahega." This too shall pass. So difficulty will pass, and all our pleasure will also pass. So ultimately, we'll all have to go alone. Alone we had come to the journey of this world. Alone we have to go from this world. So we have to be prepared for that. Otherwise, every bit of our separation will be painful, suffering. If we are unwise and we think that nothing will change, there will be suffering. If we are wise and like the little girl that was crying because her chocobar was getting smaller, we will not cry, but we know that it will be smaller and it will end. This sangsparsada bhoga will end. If with that knowledge we are in the world, then there is no suffering it can bring. Then you have started conquering the Maya. Maya creates such illusion that it feels that it will all will remain same. That's why mm, our Yudhishthira told to Yaksha, when Yaksha asked, "What is most surprising, most astonishing thing in the world?" So he said, "Ahannahani bhutani gachanti yama mandiram." Every day, people go to yama mandira, to death. Shesha sthavaram icchanti. Those who have not died, they want to remain sthavaram, remain same, remain intact, do not die. So, kimacharyam tata param. What can be more surprising than this? They see people dying, but expect themselves not to die. What can be more surprising thing than that? This expectation to happen, to conquer inevitable, so that brings suffering. When you accept that, then there is no suffering. So after saying about the details about the samsara vriksha, branches and trees and root and made up of gunas, Sri Krishna now comes in the 8th chapter about the gunas. Specifically, he still holds on that how these three gunas that make this universe, whole our body and our everything of this Maya is made of three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. And these three gunas, if we can convert these gunas from tamas to rajas to sattva, then you are progressing spiritually. Spiritual evolution consists with the conquering of the other two gunas with the sattva guna. So sattva guna will be prevalent and raja guna will be less and tamo guna will be almost conquered. So you will not be under the clutches of tamo guna. Whatever tamo guna you want to give to yourself, you want to indulge, that is calculated. 6 hours I will take rest, and other time I'll remain active. Active also, what type of activity? If you are active for your own good, for your own name and fame, for your own acquiring the things, the material that you think will give you joy, that's called rajoguna. And when you are active for the good of others, you are praying for the good of others, you meditate on God, who is the unity of all beings, so then it becomes sattva guna. So sattva guna has to be cultivated. Swami Vivekananda said, the day Sri Ramakrishna was born, the Satya Yuga has started. And Satya Guna, what is in Satya Yuga? In Satya Yuga, Satya Guna is prevalent. And slowly in Kali Yuga, Tamo Guna is prevalent. More people are lethargic, they fight, they quarrel uselessly, they are ready to harm others, injure others for something very insignificant thing they can harm. They have no self control. They are under the sway of greed and passion and anger and lust. All those things become very powerful. Those are all because of tamoguna. Now, when these things are active and you start acting according by the propulsion or by stimulation of tamoguna, then rajoguna works there. Rajoguna propelled by tamoguna becomes very harmful. And when there is Rajaguna inspired by Sattva-guna, then it becomes useful. You also become spiritual. You are active. You are working for the good of others. That is Sattva-guna inspires Rajaguna. Rajaguna is the thing that makes us active. Without Rajaguna, there is no activity. But that Rajaguna combined with Sattva-guna or with prevalent and predominance of Sattva-guna, then that does the good work. In chapter 8, the Lord will say about the Sattva-guna, how to cultivate Sattva-guna. When Swamiji was speaking, I was listening to him, and he said, how will we know that Sattva-guna is developing in us? How to develop Sattva-guna? To develop Sattva-guna is Nama Japa, repeat the name of God. Swadhyaya, study the scriptures, and Nishwartha Seva, and do selfless action. All this will increase your Sattva Guna. How will I know the Sattva Guna is now increasing in me? So when Sattva Guna is prevalent, then we enjoy a conversation about God. We enjoy the holy company. We enjoy to spend time in prayer and meditation. So when you feel like doing japam, Sattva-guna is prevalent. When you go to the temple and just not bow down and come back, but go to the temple and sit down and pray for yourself and for others, that Sattva-guna is increasing. When you want to listen to devotional songs and sometimes shed tears listening to the songs, Sattva-guna is increasing. So when we get connected to the divine, that is by the power of prevalence of Sattva-guna in us. So let us go to listen to what Sri Krishna says in the chapter 8 of the Uddhava Gita. Let us begin with that. The first verse in chapter 8 of the book, the last message of Sri Krishna, Uddhava Gita, translated by Swami Madhavananda. Page 110. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Sattvam Rajastama iti guna buddhena chatmana Sattvena hantya anyat sattvam sattvena chaivahi. The Lord said, gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas belong to the intellect and not to the self. Through sattva, one should subdue the other two and subdue sattva also by means of sattva itself. So, sattva guna is not our ultimate goal. Sattva guna is a means by which we can find the right thing of our mind. These are all states of the mind. And as Sri Krishna said very clearly, these three gunas are not the qualities of the soul, of the Atman. Atman is ever pure. It has no sattva guna, no tamoguna, no rajaguna. It is beyond guna. It is trigunatita. It is turiya. That is what the soul is, ever pure. Nothing can contaminate the soul. Now, what is contaminated? What is created? Creation happens by the contamination. So, as you find in the Bible story that Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit of knowledge, they say, but in actually it is fruit of ignorance, that they became ignorant of their true nature, and they became the knower of the body consciousness. Though it is said in the Bible as the fruit of knowledge, but it is fruit of ignorance that came to them. Ego came to them. They started having the body identification, and then they were removed from the heaven and came to the earth. So that's what it is said in the Bible. Here also it says this impurity or disbalance of this gunas that happens to the intellect, to the mind, and that mind and everything, even the body is also sattvika, tamasika, rajasika. That also happens, but mostly these gunas act on the mind, and the mind's best part of the mind has four portions, as you know. Manas is sankalpa vikalpa atmak manaha. So when you are not able to decide something, something vacillating, that is the mind yet to decide. So you hear something and you want to know what is that, and mind is vacillating. You saw something, some object far away. You are not able to decide what is that. So mind is in action. Mind wants to decide. And what the mind's work is to vacillate and try to find out. That's the work of the mind. That portion of the mind is called mana, sankalpa, vikalpa. This or that, mind does that, vacillating portion of this, our antakarana. And then comes the nishchayatmika buddhi. And then comes nishchaya. Yes, this is this music, this is that person, this is the right path. That is when you decide, then it is the work of buddhi. The same mind, when it decides, that is called the action of buddhi. And sanchayatmika chitta. And there is the chitta where all the information are stored, memories are stored in chitta. And so from memories, there are the subconscious mind and all that. So all this is chitta. That's also part of the mind. Mind has the memory, mind has deciding faculty, mind has the cognitive faculty, and mind has also egoistic faculty. And that ego, I sense, I, this individuality, that is also mind. And that part of the mind which does the individualization, that is called ego or aham, ahankara, that aham, I sense, that comes in the mind. So that ahankara, then it says, yes, I know, I was thinking, I was doubting, now I know, I remember. All this, who says that? It is the ego, which is part of the mind, that manas, this ego, ahankara, and this chitta and manas and buddhi all combined together, they are called, they are called inner organ, they are called the sukshma sharira. That's what they are called. So that is what the mind is. And mind consists of three gunas. So all three gunas are in the mind: sattva, rajas, and tamas. And this mind is the one which makes us what we are. And mind is the one who guides us. All our behavior, character, conduct, all are mind based. So when mind is full of sattva, our behavior changes, our idea changes. And when we suffer because of something, what we suffer from? Because of the mind. Mind is the one who tries to find something that desires, something that wants, something that expects. All is the mind. And mind expecting mind, desiring mind is called rajasika mind. And the mind, it doesn't desire much. It has no strong like and dislike, very light like and dislike, which can be converted. If you have loose and not strong, weak like and dislike, then what happens is, if what you like, what you want, what you expect, it doesn't come, you don't mind. So you are very always a flexible person in your wanting thing, and you are happy person, you are contented person. You may have some liking, but those are not very strong. So I want to drink hot water. Suppose there is no stove, there is no heating. Okay, cold water will also do. This flexibility is called sattva guna. Those who have this flexibility are contented person. They have peace in their mind. They can adjust with everyone. Those who have very strong like and dislike, they are always in conflict with others. And with conflict, mentally always conflicting. This is bad, that is bad, that person, how that person walks. Everything about other person, they think more. And what happens with that? They suffer themselves. Oh, that person dress is not good. Or what type of earring that person likes. She has no even, she has no liking also. She has no taste at all. Always doing yourself all this rajoguna impelled by tamoguna, and mind clouded by this tamoguna and rajoguna makes that person suffer by seeing all defects and negative in others. Who makes us suffer actually? We ourselves make us suffer. So the thing is, sattva guna has to be prevailed if we want to be spiritually enlightened. And without spiritual enlightenment, there is no real happiness, there is no real joy. And when there is spiritual enlightenment, then there is no all this thing, conflict all goes away, all competition goes away. Why me? This question goes away. So you all feel joy in the success of others. Can you see a man who is happy because some other got a job, your friend got a job and didn't get job? Such person will be very sattvika person. So he has no worries, he has no suffering for anything. He lost job, another person got job, one of us got job. So one will get, other I will get, or he will get, or she would get. So he one of us got. So that is the nature. So that person is even not getting job. With all that comes the difficulty, with all difficulties, with the contentment and peace and goodwill, all difficulties can be conquered. Otherwise difficulties will come in life. Even if you get a job, there will be always conflict. Why promotion of that person? Why that person's salary is more? Why that person gets a better opportunity and is chosen to visit some places? Why not I? So those who have always of ego sense and want only themselves to be at the prominent place will always suffer. Even if job is got, even salary they get, they will suffer. Those who are sattvika somehow miss the job that time because of their contentment and God's will, they will get a job, and that job will make them happy. They will be friendly to all their colleagues, and there will be no competition. Rather, they will be helping others. So that person is sattvika person. That person is a spiritual person. So that's how this spirituality and sattva is very much connected. Without sattvika, we cannot become spiritual. Let us go to this. He says sattva, rajas, and tamas. These three gunas are there. Now we have to develop sattva guna so that it becomes predominant and it controls rajas and tamas. And sattva has to control sattva itself, because sattva guna is not something that will make us realize God. To realize God, we have to go beyond sattva guna also. The story of three robbers we told one day, that in the forest a rich man was going and he was caught by three robbers, and they all took away his possession. And one of the robbers says, "What will he do? So let us kill him." The second robber says, "Why to kill? We already got the objects that we would get, all money, wealth we all got. Let us try him with a tree. So, and then we can flee away from here." So he tied them in the tree with a rope. And that man in the deep forest was tied in the tree. Any moment, wild animal will come and devour him. And he was, now what he can do? Nothing he can do. In the meantime, after a few minutes, he found some sound that was there rustling on the back, and says one of the three robbers came back, and he said, "Oh, we are sorry you are suffering. So you will be even be killed here by the tigers and the wild cats. So let me open you. Let me free you from the bondage." See, he unties the rope and makes him free. And he says that this third robber says, "I will show you the path to your village." So he takes him across the forest and then say, "You see, take this path and that it will lead you to your home." This person was so happy with this robber, though you are a part of robber, but how you thought about me, you thought about my bondage, you thought about my life, and you came all the way and you showed me the way to my home. Please come with me. I will entertain you at my home, and I will show how noble and kind-hearted person can be in a band of robbers. Then Robert, what he does, he says, "No, no, I cannot go. I'm a part of the robbery. If I go there to your village, police will catch me. After all, I am a robber. I cannot go to your village." Saying this, Sri Ramakrishna explains the first robber we said, "Let us kill him," he is a tamasika robber. See, tamoguna always destroys. And who tied him to the forest, to the tree? He is a rajasika robber. Rajasika guna always ties us. Now, this one who freed from this bondage, opened the rope and took him and showed him the way to his village, he was a sattvika robber. So, sattva guna will lead you to the path, but it cannot take you to their goal, destination. Sattaguna cannot do that. Sattaguna is also part of robber, it's also part of Maya. is also part of samsara. So, but samsara, the Sattva-guna, guides us how to go out of samsara, how to get the freedom. So, this type of story that you said, that's what Sri Krishna says here. You have to conquer Sattva-guna by Sattva-guna itself. Refined Sattva-guna will be more spiritualized Sattva-guna, it will be refined Sattva-guna. So, let's go to verse 2. Sattvad dharmo bhavid vridhat pungso madbhakti lakshana sattiko pasaya sattvam tato dharma pravartate. Through developed sattva, a man attains to that form of spirituality which consists in devotion to me. Through the use of sattvika things, sattva is developed. This leads to spirituality. Now, he said about the gunas, three gunas are there. So, one is the peace, serenity, that is sattva guna. That sattva guna, more purified by spirituality, becomes a fit path to get spiritual awareness, spiritual enlightenment. But and that makes our life sattvika. We have to make our life sattvika. Uh, that's what he said. Through developed sattva, man attains to the form of spirituality. So spiritual inclination will not come unless we are sattvika. Many people will find very much active doing work, but if you say to them something spiritual, to ask them to go to temple, they will say, no, no, I'm very fine here, I don't have to go to temple. Many given give say the thing that what is the need to go to temple, I'm very happy here, I'm very moral, I'm ethical, I have good conduct, I don't do anything with temple, this god, deities, worship, pilgrimage, that are secondary. I don't need that. Actually, he or she needs that very much. That will lead us to spiritual awareness, spiritual enlightenment. But that person has not developed sattva guna into developed sattva guna has not become. So refined sattva guna has not come, and that stops him to make himself spiritual, uh, like our Vidyasagar. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example, Vidyasagar. He was very selfless, he was very helping others, but he had no inclination towards spirituality, he had no nothing to do with God, he was avoiding the feeling of God. So everything was ready, Sattva-guna had come, but developed Sattva-guna had not come, refined Sattva-guna had not come. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to help him and asked him, come there. And he said he had that gold hidden within him, but he is not aware of that. Chai chapa agun, as they say. There's the fire which is not seen, covered by the ash, but the fire is, the person is unaware of that, the brilliance of fire, warmth of fire, where it is, that person is not aware, because Sattva-guna is not developed Sattva-guna. When Sattva-guna is develops, then it will ultimately lead us towards God, who is the repository of all goodness, who is the unity of whole creation, who is the Lord of this universe, who is the immanence in the spiritual, divine, immanent divine divinity of spirituality in this world. So that aspect will not develop unless it is the purified Sattaguna, developed Sattaguna, as the Uddhava Gita, as the Sri Krishna says in the Uddhava Gita. And it says, with consistent devotion to me. When this sattaguna is developed, then the devotion to Lord will come. Through the use of sattvika things, sattva is developed. This leads to spirituality. So tato dharma pravartate. Here dharma means spirituality. So sattvika things will develop. So as I said, what are the sattvika things? Sattvika things ultimately takes us to the association of devotees and holy persons, takes us to some holy conversation and talk, takes us to reading of some nice books we call scriptures. There are so many scriptures available. By scripture, the mainly it is said to be Bible or Vedas or the Gita. But nowadays you have so many lives of the saints in Christianity. You'll have the imitation of Christ. That's such a wonderful scriptural book. You don't have to read the Bible. There's so many things you'll find in the life of the memoirs of that person, the saint. So like that in Hinduism, there are so many lives of saints, innumerable, and they are saying conversation in Ramakrishna Order itself. We have so many beautiful books, which will lead us to spiritual progress, like eternal companion, or Paramartha Prasanga, towards goal supreme, or Shivananda Bani for seekers of God, meditation and spiritual life. So many books are there. Other than, you don't have to just go to Upanishad and Gita. Those are the basic. From that, they have come so many. Nowadays, more than books, there are talks that are available on YouTube and other podcasts. So you can listen to wonderful talks if you listen nicely. Only in talk, the thing is, if you just casually listen, the Swami or the interpreter will go on speaking, and you will be thinking this and that. All thoughts will be there, not focused. So it will be like that. That jar, as Swami Sarvapriyananda says, two or three kinds of jar are there. One, two. If you go to fill water, and no water comes in, so why nothing filled, no water filled of this fresh water of the river? Oh, jar was already filled with some mud. So how it will fill? And another jar they put, and they put the water, and no water was retained because it has many holes. And there was a third jar you put there, it was empty, but water is not going in, it is not filling. What happened? You were filling it upside down, so water was not going in. So like that, there are three kinds of persons like that. One is already filled in with something. So in your some device, the thing goes on, Swami goes on speaking nice thing, you are engaged, this person did that, that person did that, I will see to that, oh, he's very bad guy. You are all thinking whatever you are thinking, the television or whatever is there is going on, Swami is saying nice thing. So already the jar is filled with mud. Some are there, you nice things you heard, but with half-hearted hearing. Yeah, he said that, he said that. No retention. You come out and nothing. What did you hear? Oh, I don't remember. But it was very wonderful talk Swami gave. But what did he talk? Oh no, I don't remember. Actually, sorry that. And third is, nothing comes in. You are empty. You are not thinking of anything ill about others, but you didn't pay attention to what was being said. That is like this, taking the jar upside down. You pour the water in that, nothing goes in. So jar is there, but you are not using it properly. So jar has to be used properly, and then you enjoy the talk, you enjoy music, you enjoy prayer, you enjoy evening meditation and evening prayer. People say Khandana, Bhavabandhana. What is there? Everything they singing the same thing, no new thing coming up. Every day and every other day you see the same Khandana, Bhavabandhana. Oh, nothing new. But there is so much of, you have to put mind in the meaning of the mantra, composed by Swami Vivekananda. Very high order of a description of the divinity of the personality who is being described without even being told the name. It is Ramakrishna is not said there, but it's all about the glory of. And you can, Khandana Bhavabandha is such a thing, such a prayer. You can relate it to any of your Ishta. Your Ishta is Rama, your Ishta is Shiva, your Ishta is Kali. Any Ishta, you can make this Khandana practical and relate to that. So they enjoy singing that same song again and again. So like that thing, you go to the puja. If you are like that, puja, oh, one half an hour on, still Swami is ringing the bell, ang chang bang, doing that. And after that, when is the time? It's 1 hour. When is this long puja going on? And it is already 12 o'clock. So when will it prasad? I don't know what they made today prasad. All thought about prasad, and sitting there somehow. Still, I have to, when it will finish 12:30. Swami seems to be doing today longer, and they said to the havan after that homa. Oh my God, what I'm feeling so hungry. Oh, I don't know why they do so long puja. What is there to do so long puja? They should finish it 1 hour. All this you think you don't enjoy puja at all. So that is the type of thing. If you are not sattvika, that happens that way. You come to this. When you are sattvika, you enjoy every moment, every song, every mantra. Oh, here is, and you feel the presence of the divine there. God is being worshipped. Today is Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, and Sri Ramakrishna is here. He's being offered all the articles. What beautiful song! Every song seems to be very nice. Every one song, and they're singing so beautifully like that. And you enjoy whole puja, and after that prasad, and then you go back home. The pitcher filled with your spiritual joy. It's all filled with that. So that's what you have become already sattvika. When we are sattvika, you come with empty. Sattvika jar is filled with air, and the tamasika with mud, and Rajasika is with all holes. You come, it will go away because you didn't pay attention. That's how our mind is there. So Sri Krishna lays more emphasis on how to make our mind sattva guna prevalent, and our things will be sattvika. When we start listening to the devotional song, reading to the scriptures and holy books, thinking good about others. Already thought of good about other comes. Whenever thought of other comes, you feel all goodness about others, not any defect or bad about other. So that is when our mind has become sattvika. You enjoy devotional song, you enjoy prayer, mind has become sattvika. You have started liking the sattvika, enjoy the company of devotees. You don't want to put any other person down by saying, oh, I am such a great person, what you know. You have just come. Sometimes we say we are so senior. I'm in the Vedanta Society for 30 years, and you are just coming. How do you know? You don't know anything about. That is not the sattvika thing. Sattvika person, oh, then they will welcome the first, when they come out, they will say, you have come today, wonderful, you have come here, and they will be so friendly to that person because that has come first day to the Vedanta Society. Here we do this, we do that, come here, do that, all become friendly. There is no nothing, I am senior, you are junior, that thing doesn't come. You are already a sattvika person, already devotion to God has come. You have come closer to God. So that's how intimacy, closeness with God will come. Sattvika is now purified sattvika. Sattvika is now, in Sri Krishna's language, developed sattvika. Sattviko sattvam tato dharma pravartate. After that, the spirituality begins. When sattva guna is prevalent, then spirituality begins. Dharmo rajas tamo hanyat sattva vriddhiranuttama asuna shatitan mulo hyadharma ubhaye hate. That superior form of spirituality, which is brought on by an increase of sattva, destroys rajas and tamas. And when both of these are destroyed, inquiry, which had its rise in them, is also quickly destroyed. What is not inquiry, iniquity. Iniquity, which had its rise in them, is also quickly destroyed. Iniquity, inequality, seeing all the difference, that is what the work of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Always differentiating, always putting in different levels. Different level putting in the work of the mind. Thing as such are all one. As our caste system, Swami Vivekananda says, caste system, Sudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana. Caste system, all on the same level, nothing higher and lower. This higher and lower became because of Tamoguna and Rajoguna. Swamiji said this caste system is not bad, only their utilization in different level, thinking one caste is superior, another is inferior. Privilege in the caste system. I am privileged because I am Kshatriya. You are not privileged, you are not Kshatriya. I am higher caste. That is wrong. That is tamo guna, that is rajo guna. But when satto guna comes, all castes become on the same level. There is no higher and lower in the caste. Each one is great at his place. Brahmana is great, Shudra is great. Swamiji clearly says Shudra is, if Shudras are those who do menial service of cleaning, utilizing physical work, and those people, they are so much important. Without that, you cannot, the society cannot survive. If all the sweepers of Calcutta, they are in strike for 7 days and do no work, all whole Calcutta will die. Who will clean? How will they survive? All bacteria, disease will be there and die. So who makes them survive? All our life depends on the Shudra, who is supposed to be the lowest caste. They are so important. Without that, you cannot live. They are like God. So God is that who makes us live. So those who serve us in this winter, have you ever thought how people go in the winter and they check that water flows, check that this power supply is on, in the and people in the traffic something happens, they go and work. They are the real like God manifesting through them. One, there was very nice advertisement during COVID time in India. They say people now in temples are closed. Then where are they, all temples were closed during the COVID time. They said don't go to temples. And where gods have gone during this time? Do you know? And they said gods have now put on the white dress and gone to hospitals. They're working there. All God, doctors and nurses are the form of God now. They are to be worshipped. They are the one who are protecting you. Without them, you will die. As God protects us, this time during COVID time, God have become doctors and nurses. So that's how the things comes. How people work in this winter time in different places, and we get the continued supply of heating and electricity and water. Everything is done. So they are the real givers. They are the real work like God, making us survive, making us live. So that superior form of spirituality which is brought on by the increase of sattva. When sattva increases, then tamoguna and rajoguna is subdued. Rajoguna, passion, activity, desire, expectation, those all are the rajoguna. And the tamoguna are only thinking about the destruction of others, kill, plunder, and about others destroying, destruction, injury, and yourself what? Lethargy. I will do nothing. I will sleep, and I will order. Like that thing is all tamoguna. It makes you vegetable, and still you think you are great. So that is all cause of tamoguna. Tamoguna and rajoguna is subdued by sattoguna. Here the word comes destruction, but when we are in this world, three gunas has to be there. Everyone has three gunas. Any person having embodied being, having created three guna. So, what type of guna is prevalent? That makes that person different. In the great rishis and saintly persons and divine incarnation, it is all sattva mostly, but a little of rajoguna and tamoguna. So that is there. So very little of that seemingly there. In us, mostly it is rajoguna, and then some tamoguna, so mostly rajoguna, then whatever remaining tamoguna, little of sattaguna. That makes us little do japam. Let us say, I should do japam today. Om, 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 om. Tamoguna comes. This is always prevalent tamoguna. Otherwise, om, 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 om. Sattaguna and Rajaguna comes. This happened, that what is happening here, mind is there, but all going around. Rajaguna. These are the distractors of Tamoguna. They take away our mind because they are prevalent. Sattaguna is very little, it just finishes very quickly. Sattaguna. Otherwise, in those Sattaguna is more, they have time. Now it's time to sleep. And they will bring that Tamoguna, which makes you rest. And in Tamoguna time also, they will go to sleep with Sattaguna thing, taking the name of God. And dream also, something divine dream will be there. All this Tamoguna, but Sattaguna will be acting there also, thinking of God, and get up in the morning. What a beautiful dream I had. Oh, to me, Sri Ramakrishna came and said, you will find, do that, do this thing, don't hurt anyone, don't find fault with anyone. What a wonderful dream I had, Sri Ram. So, in sleep also, in Tamogunic time also, you have Sattogunic inspiration. And Rajaguna also will be like that. You will work, but work for others, work for the good of others, more thinking about others, passionate, working, going to bring message. Oh, that person has some problem today. It goes to take the medical shop, all impelled by Rajaguna. but behind is Sattva-guna, helping others, serving others, and there is greater joy in that. When Sattva-guna prevails, joy is greater. Rajaguna is bondage, suffering, and Tamoguna, destruction. That's what the result of all the three gunas. So here Sri Krishna praises Sattva-guna, how we need to be sattvika in our nature, and mostly to cultivate Sattva-guna, uh, how to overcome, conquer Tamoguna and Rajaguna, which we are born with, samskaras, and this very body is very tamasic body, it's tamasic, how it happens. So we, as Sri Ramakrishna says, repeat the name of God, sing the glory of God, like that, be in touch with God, come to the temple, visit the temples. That forcibly going to the temple itself all helps to increase your sattaguna. And when sattva, slowly that will lead us to the liking of the temple. Any temple you go, you find first the deity so beautifully decorated. When you are not sattvika prevalent, even the temple, you will find what is there, stone statue and done, and you will find all this dirty, and people are all selfish, and they are all very egoistic. You will find that when you go to the temple with the tamoguni mind and rajoguni mind. When you developed the tamoguna become less, rajoguna becomes controlled, sattaguna prevail. Now coming up, then you find deity so nicely decorated. All people are devoted. All have come with the intention to love God. You don't think of what their selfish prayer and all that. When you think of people are doing selfish prayer, then we are not sattaguni yet. Then you enjoy the people coming to Lord, and you see the deity decorated so beautifully, the ornament and flowers, and the priest worshipping with camphor and nice clothes put on to the deity. All you feel so deity is living. She is Jagrata. She is living deity there. So enjoyable. You just see the face and go on seeing the face. And how beautiful eyes of the Lord, how prevalent is. You feel, try to feel the presence of deity, and you feel joy and peace in your heart, happiness in the heart by visiting the temple. Sattaguna is developing by going that. So when we do this, Sattaguna develops. So that way, Sattaguna has to be developed by eliminating or conquering, says Sri Krishna, Rajas and Tamas. But by practicing this thing, we generally gradually become Sattvika. And without becoming Sattvika, there is no way we can become spiritual. And luckily, in our state, we are not too much tamashika, too much rajasika. Rajasika is there, but we have to conquer that rajasa nature by sattvika, by loving all, praying for others, thinking all to be good, seeing good in others. That is how our sattvika nature will develop. The sattva will become prevalent, will become closer and closer to God. And as Sri Ramakrishna says, you go one step forward to God. God wants us to become sattvika and come to us. And God comes running to us 10 steps. Oh, He is coming to us. So He comes 10 steps. So our progress becomes faster towards God. And progress becomes faster with peace in mind, joy in this thing. Fear is gone. When this God comes to our life, fear goes away. Fear of old age, fear of ill health, fear of death. Oh, doesn't matter. Death will come one day. What does it matter? You don't fear of anything. Whatever happens, the changing life is made as a changing thing, ever changing. It's never constant, never never permanent. So you accept the nature of the change and live the life, very joyful life. So let us make our mind more sattvika by, with the help of God, connection with God. Let us be connected to God. This is the message today. We'll continue next Uddhava Gita class next time. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhur Muhu. Good night to everyone.